Jake and Emily, the two roaming souls. We travel full-time to find the top things to do in each city or town we visit. And today, we're headed to Newport, Oregon. Newport is a beautiful seaside town along the central Oregon coast. We've actually been here a couple times, as it's one of our favorite coastal cities in the PNW. There are many great restaurants, breweries, scenic viewpoints, beaches, and more. So let's dive into the top things to do in Newport, Oregon.
Yaquina Head Outstanding Natural Area. I think it's called outstanding as in it sticks out from the coast, but make no mistake, this place is outstanding. Yaquina Head Lighthouse looks like a literal postcard, and there are several beaches to explore as well. This is the tallest lighthouse on the Oregon coast, beginning in 1873 and has been active ever since. Cobble Beach, right below the lighthouse, is a great spot for tide pooling and spotting marine life. During low tide, the tide pool ecosystem comes alive with intertidal species, and you can often spot seals sunbathing on the rocks or along the shore. There's usually a ranger down there to help with questions and safety tips. During high tide, the tide pools become submerged, and it can be dangerous to walk on the beach because of the rounded cobblestones. This area is also one of the West Coast's largest nesting colonies for seabirds, so be on the lookout for birds flying around or nesting on the rocks. You can often spot cormorants, falcons, bald eagles, just to name a few. And also be on the lookout for gray whales, as they can often be spotted offshore, especially during December and January, or March and April.
Moe's Seafood and Chowder. This iconic Oregon coast institution all started right here in Newport. Their famous clam chowder is now served at over 6 different locations along the coast. And besides the tasty seafood, what makes this place exceptionally cool is it's still family owned and operated. There are actually 2 locations just in Newport, right across the street from each other. So if you can't get into one, walk across the street and try your luck at the other. Personally, we enjoy the Annex location because it overlooks Yaquina Bay, where you can watch fishing boats come in and maybe spot some wildlife. The one thing you absolutely need to order here is the clam chowder sourdough cannonball bowl. It's basically a big loaf of sourdough carved out for some tasty clam chowder, and Moe's trademark slab of melted butter. It will not disappoint. You can even eat the bowl, but be warned, it's quite chewy at the end. We also got some garlic butter shrimp, and it was phenomenal. I should note the Annex location doesn't offer fried food, so if that is of interest, you may want to visit the original location across the street.
Sea Lion Dock. You will probably hear the sea lions barking while walking around downtown. But to get a closer look, head over to the Sea Lion Dock on Port Dock 1. This species is called the California sea lion, and you'll usually only spot the male sea lions here, as the females stay near California year-round. The male sea lions can grow up to 11 feet long and weigh nearly 1,000 pounds. The best time to see the sea lions is from August to June, as the males usually migrate south for mating. It's very entertaining to watch them all trying to get along sharing the docks together.
Yaquina Bay Lighthouse and Bridge. This lighthouse sits upon a bluff at the mouth of the Yaquina River and part of the Yaquina Bay State Recreation Site. This park has exceptional views of the lighthouse, the bridge, and the Pacific Ocean. The Yaquina Bay Lighthouse does offer some unique history, as it's the only wooden lighthouse still standing and the only housing-attached lighthouse in the state of Oregon. It was built in 1871, but decommissioned shortly after 1874, but then again restored in 1996 to aid in navigation. If you want to go inside the lighthouse, they offer tours Wednesday to Sunday from noon to 4. This spot is also one of the best places to view the Yaquina Bay Bridge. This imposing bridge spans over 3,000 feet and is practically synonymous with Newport itself. It's photogenic no matter the coastal conditions. Well, unless you literally can't see it through the fog. But this is one of the most photographed bridges along the Oregon coast.
Brewery Tour. Newport has 3 different breweries that are totally worth checking out if you're in town. Newport Brewery is our favorite out of the 3. It's located just up the hill from downtown and has a great indoor-outdoor seating. Their colorful interior is a cool vibe, and we love getting their beer flights to sample a bunch of styles. Rogue is the biggest brewery in Newport, and there are actually 3 different spots to grab their tasty brews. The Rogue Bayfront Public House, located downtown, Rogue's Brewers on the Bay, where the beer is actually brewed overlooking the Yaquina Bay, and Rogue Spirits Sunset Bar, also located south of the bridge near the Newport Marina. One thing we love about Rogue is that right when they seat you, they drop off some complimentary beer tasters. What a cool touch! I wish more breweries did this. However, none of Rogue's beers have really ever been a complete home run for us, but we still like this place. If you're looking for a more laid-back, bar-style brewery, Beer One Brewing is your stop. They don't really have the views of Newport Bay, but they do have some fun pub games such as darts, shuffleboard, foosball, etc.
Crabbing at the public pier. Newport, Oregon is known as the Dungeness crab capital of the world, so that makes Newport a great place to test out your crabbing skills. If you've never been crabbing, consider booking a tour, which will bring you out on a boat and to some popular crabbing locations. Or you can rent some crabbing gear from a local company and try your luck on the public pier. You will need a license, which can be found at local bait and tackle shops, or you can purchase one online at the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. While I'm certainly no expert in crabbing, here are a few helpful tips to improve your luck. The best time of year for crabbing is September through December, and apparently 2 hours before and after both high tide and low tide tend to be a bit more fruitful. And for some reason, raw chicken seems to be a popular bait for catching crabs. Do note there are rules and restrictions for what you can legally keep. The minimum size a crab needs to be is 5 3/4 inches wide. Usually when you rent gear, they will provide a measuring tool for sizing the crabs you catch.
Devil's Punchbowl. Just a 20-minute drive north of Newport, you will find Devil's Punchbowl. This natural hole in the rocks is a really unique place to explore. During high tide, you can really only explore the Punchbowl from above, but at low tide, you can walk inside this awe-inspiring site. Just north of the parking lot, there's a path leading down to Ottercrest Beach. Follow the rocky ledge on the left to the opening in the rocks to explore inside the Punchbowl. But use caution when walking around the area as it can be quite slippery, and keep an eye on the incoming tide. A few archways and overhanging walls are very cool to experience. The beach outside the Punchbowl has probably the best tide pools we've experienced on the entire Oregon coast. But just tread lightly on the bare rock and sand, because tide pool species are very easily crushed by our footsteps. And the beach to the south of the Punchbowl is a very popular surfing spot. On the rim above the Punchbowl, there's a surf shop, a winery tasting room, cafe, and you guessed it, another Moe's Chowder location.
Agate Beach. Agate Beach covers a large portion of Newport's coastal shore. And yes, it can be a popular place to find agate, which are gemstones known for their colorful banded patterns. But people have been taking agate from this beach for years, so they can be a bit harder to find. Agate Beach is another popular spot for surfers. The beach is protected from northern winds by a massive point, making a nice wave break. I wouldn't quite view this beach as a sunbathing spot, as it really only reaches the 50s and 60s, even in summer, but rather a nice place to relax on the sand or go for a long walk on the beach.
Seal Rock. The Seal Rock State Recreation Site is located just south of town. Named for the imposing offshore rock formation that, along with a barrier of smaller rocks, creates a protected cove, making this one of the better beaches in the area for swimming, especially for small children. And it's a popular place to observe the seals, sea lions, and birds. And during low tide, you can explore some great tide pools. Also, try to check out the Spinning Sands event, often at Seal Rock or other nearby beaches. A talented local rakes beautiful designs into the sand during low tides. Check out her Facebook page for the next sand art event.
Local ocean seafood. If you're looking for some exceptionally prepared seafood, you gotta visit Local Ocean Seafood. This fancy restaurant sources their seafood directly from local Oregon fishers. They offer an upscale menu with inventive dishes to make your mouth water. And while it's not particularly cheap, your dollars are recirculated into the local economy as they source their food from 30 local boats. Even years later, this place remains one of the more memorable meals we've ever had. We got the tuna mignon and a Brazilian seafood stew, and both were exceptional.
Here are a few other honorable mention. The Oregon Coast Aquarium. We didn't get to this one because of renovations, but the Oregon Coast Aquarium is one of the best in the Northwest. It showcases a variety of marine species native to Oregon, plus marine life from around the world. Visitors can explore exhibits featuring sharks, sea otters, seabirds, jellyfish, and more. It's a great activity for the whole family to enjoy.
Embarcadero Resort. While you will usually find us traveling in our camper van, we ran into a little car trouble in Newport, so we had the luxury of staying at Embarcadero Resort. Their claim to fame is that every room has a view of Yaquina Bay, which was certainly a highlight. They also have a private dock for crabbing, a restaurant on site, a pool, hot tub, and saunas. We highly suggest this spot if you're looking for a place to stay. Head over to our website, tworoamingsouls.com, for more in-depth details about Newport, Oregon. You will find additional things to do, where to stay, a map, and more. Thanks for coming along on another Two Roaming Souls adventure. If you missed our other videos traveling up the Oregon coast, head over to our channel to find our other top 10 videos. Consider subscribing to never miss out on our epic travel adventures, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy our content. See you on the next one!